Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you very much for stopping by and being here today. I am guessing that you saw what I'm talking about today. I wanted to have a discussion on whether or not, well, it's not really about whether or not, it's what you feel about kissing on a first date. We all have our opinions and we come from different places and have different experiences, and I want to discuss my thoughts on this and some other conversations I've had with clients. If you're new here, I am a matchmaker and a dating coach based out of the Chicago area with clients all around the country, and these types of conversations come up often, as you can probably imagine, and I thought we could have it here. Why wouldn't I share it with you in case you're out there dating? Do you have a friend you can talk to about this? Well, now you do. There was a period of time about a year and a half ago that my daughter, who is now 30, was doing a lot of dating. She had just gotten out of a couple longer term relationships and was kind of hitting the pavement running, going out for so much sushi. I warned her about her mercury levels. You know, she was dating like 4 times a week. And I asked her something about kissing these guys, and she said, I don't kiss on a first, I haven't kissed any of them. I don't kiss on a first date. And I said, you don't? I always kiss on a first date. First of all, you don't have to. If you're not feeling it, don't. And just because somebody else is feeling it, don't feel pressure that you have to. I think that if throughout the date you're feeling very comfortable with this person and you're feeling that intimacy, and at the end of the date they put themselves in proximity where you think they're leaning in, go ahead and lean in. You know why? Because for me, if it's not good and I'm on the fence and it's not good, that is going to inform me as to whether or not there is a date number 2. If it's really good, they've now left me wanting more and looking forward to date number 2. But I think it's part of getting to know somebody, and I think kissing is obviously very intimate, but also it doesn't have to be that type of a kiss. It can be a more innocent kiss. It doesn't have to be drawn out. It could just tell you whether or not they have soft lips when they kiss, you know, with a quick 2-second peck, or whether they have firm lips when they kiss. I just think it's going to give you more information to determine whether this is a person you want to spend more time with. I think it's also a test to the chemistry. I think that if the kiss is good, that could mean that your physical vibes are on par. And I would think that the fact that you both came to that point where you were leaning in for a kiss is already indicative of having some type of a connection and both of you knowing that the date was good. So it's going to also let you know whether he is taking this date to the next step. Although there is a caveat here that I will have to talk about, and I'll get to that in a minute, but let me talk about still some of the reasons why you would want to. Another reason you would want to kiss on a first date is because it will tell you a little bit about his hygiene. If he had horrible body odor, I'm sure you noticed it sitting kitty corner at that table, which was my recommendation in 6 rules for a first date. Close enough proximity that you can tell whether he took the effort and he smells like shower soap or a little bit of aftershave, hopefully just a little. Or whether he's doused in it, which is another signal that either he's covering something up or he needs a woman in his life to tell him a little bit goes a long way. I don't know. Does he have nice fresh breath? Did he sneak a mint into his mouth while you were walking out the door or putting your coats on? That would let you know he's thoughtful. I think that you'll be able to tell whether or not he is putting the attention on you or whether this kiss feels perfunctory. I don't know where I'm coming up with all these big words. My word bank is wide open and they're all coming to me. Some days I can't remember the word for the most basic. I couldn't remember the word carousel the other day, and that just came to me. It's happened a few times. Carousel. Can never think of it. I've got all these big words today. Good, I should use them or I'm going to lose them. I know that's true for sure. Is he giving you this kiss because he wants to and he seems intent and focused on you, or is he paying attention to looking where his car's parked while he's kissing you and it feels like he's not even involved? That'll tell you a little bit about him too. I do want to emphasize that just because somebody else is going in for a kiss, you can always turn your cheek and give them the cheek instead of your lips if you're so inclined. I've been on a couple dates where I told you about that one I had where he kept touching me. At the end of the date, I said, you should really try to pay attention and read the room. I was obviously not responding to that from you and kept backing away, yet you kept moving closer and continued putting your hand on me, your arm on my shoulder, touching my leg. And kissing would be the same way. It will also let you know whether he's paying attention to your signals. But if you are both vibing on the kiss and it feels natural, at least have it in the back of your head knowing you want it, so that if he does come in for a kiss or you have the opportunity to move in for a kiss, you've thought about it and it doesn't end up being any more awkward than it needs to be. And now I would like to talk a little bit about whether or not that kiss coming from him initiating is indicative of a second date and the fact that he's going to call you and ask you out again soon. I would have always said yes. If he kisses you, then yes, he had a great time. He's feeling attracted to you. He's definitely going to be calling you and asking you out again. However, I've had a handful of clients where when I had my feedback call with them and told them that the gentleman did not want to see them again, they were dumbfounded because either he had gone in for a kiss and it wasn't, most of them were not just a quick 2-second kiss, and a couple of them were literal makeout sessions at the car or in the car. And another one is you're driving away, stop and roll your window down. And these women really thought these men were into them, and yet the guy said, yeah, she wasn't my type, or she lives too far, or I just didn't feel any chemistry, which blew my mind. You don't feel any chemistry, but you're making out with her in the parking lot? So I had to go to my sources here and get the scoop on this, which I will now share with you. First off, I went to my son, who is 27 and single and dates quite often. And I asked him, do you ever kiss a girl at the end of the date if you know you don't want to see her again? He said, oh yeah. Why would you do that? Don't you think that's mixed signals, young man? And he said, it's just an in-the-moment thing. If you had a nice time and it's just part of a date and you want her to go away thinking that it was a really nice evening and a quick kiss goodnight is part of that whole feeling, that whole vibe, the whole ceremony of a date. So why not finish the date with a nice kiss goodnight? And that was his opinion. I said, well, don't do that because you're giving a woman mixed signals. She's going to think that you're attracted to her, you had a great time and want to see her again. I don't know if he is listening to me or not. And I asked a couple of my male friends who also said things very similar to that. Actually, my son was a little bit more concise because I kept pushing him. More info. But they just said, yeah, it's part of a first date and I'll just kiss her just for the fun of it. Or just to have a good, because it's enjoyable activity at the end of a date. Or especially if they've had a cocktail, they want to move to that romantic feeling and end on that note. My point here is you cannot take them at their lips. Take them at their word. That was a horrible play on words. But just because you get a kiss goodnight does not tell you for sure that you're getting a second date or that he'd want to. And to wrap up my thoughts on whether you should kiss on a first date, it really comes down to you, your comfort level, and what you're feeling. If there's a great vibe, a romantic vibe, a playfulness, some tension, some chemistry that's going on for an hour and a half, and somebody's standing outside waiting for your Uber, your Lyft, or walking you to your car to make sure you get there safely because you've parked 2 blocks away and it's dark outside, and you're feeling like you want to, don't put up rules for yourself that you can't if you want to. Do what you want and what makes you comfortable. And that's the end of that story. It has to be mutual and it has to be what you're comfortable with. But for me, I'm going for it because it's just more information and kissing is fun. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please leave your comments down below. I would love to hear what you think about this and whether or not you have a rule about this or you're open to just being in the moment to see how it will unfold. Subscribe while you're there and hit that ring bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for stopping by. And until then, have a good one.